So wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
Golden State led 86-68 with 7:13 to go in the third. And then the Nets, Coach Fernandez and his squad did a great job. The Nets come away with a win, 128-120. So
Tim Roy on the call last night right here on 95.7 The Game, your home for Golden State Warriors basketball, as the Dubs fall 128-120. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. You got me for the next hour before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. And what a disappointing loss. Really, the last two for the Golden State Warriors, who were 12-3 just back on Friday, and now all of a sudden, 12-5. And there's a lot of similarities with how this team lost the last two games. First to the Spurs, and now to the Brooklyn Nets. Not exactly world beaters, but I think this is a reminder that the Warriors, even though they've been playing well, they are not good enough to get their foot off the gas and let teams back into it. Yeah, the depth is amazing. It's awesome. But when it gets tested, like it did last night and on Saturday, you need to respond. And yesterday, it was just an utter collapse. You had an 18-point lead, as Tim Roy alluded to. And then you look up at the scoreboard, it's like, I don't think we're going to win this game. They're answering every single thing that we are doing now. And yeah, the Brooklyn Nets are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the league. I know they take a lot, but it wasn't even the three-point shots yesterday. It was the dribble drive penetration. How many times did you see Dennis Schroeder cutting into the lane last night? Just cutting in, whether it was a dish out or just a layup that was just blowing by teams. That's all I kept seeing late yesterday. And yeah, the Brooklyn Nets, they're third right now in three-point shooting in the league. So, and that's just 3 points made. I'll just do that. I mean, if you want to go efficiency, stuff like that. This is what they do. They shoot threes, and they're going to attack you in the paint. 284 made threes. Warriors, by the way, 271. They're sixth in the NBA. Celtics lead at a astounding 341. Yeah, Celtics, they're still pretty damn good. For those that didn't know, the Chicago Bulls, number 2 at 295. Would not have guessed that. But again, my league pass is not all the way up to snuff. Los Angeles Lakers, by the way, 202, and the Denver Nuggets at 202. Some of the bottom in the league there at 24 and 25 respectively. So the Warriors fall 128-120. Sky's not falling. It's not the end of the world, but it was a frustrating loss nonetheless. And it does highlight some things that I think we need to be concerned about going forward with this squad. Just how sustainable is this 12-man rotation going to be? 888-957-9570. It's on a given night. This is what happened when you rely on that many players on a given night. Sometimes it's just not going to work. And it's up to Steve Kerr to have that right rotation at the right time, right minute allocation. This is why he gets paid the big bucks. And sometimes he's going to look like a genius, and other times he's going to look like a fool. That just goes to the territory of being a coach in any sport, though. But for Steve Kerr last night, they're starting five, obviously. Draymond, Lindy Waters, Trace Jackson Davis, Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry. You look at that starting lineup overall, you look at the box score, it's like, okay, Steph, 28 points. But it's not the points that I was looking at after the 29 minutes? 29 minutes for Stephen Curry last night? Why? That's it? After having a day off already on Sunday? Getting to rest up at home? That one was a head scratcher to me, personally. Here's the head coach talking about the team losing juice last night.
Felt like we lost juice again tonight. Big lead, late third, and can't close the deal. So not a lot of energy, not a lot of force. And, you open up the door for a team in the modern NBA, and they might make 23s like Brooklyn did tonight. They did a great job. I give them huge credit. Schroeder was phenomenal tonight. But that was the key stretch. They took a timeout. Late third, we're up 18, and we got a chance to put them away, and they go on an immediate 9-0 run, and then it's a game. And then, again, with the way teams shoot threes, anything's possible these days.
Anything's possible. Shout out Kevin Garnett. From the Comcast Biz text line, I'd love for you guys to get involved this morning, 888-957-9570, breaking down the Warriors' loss to the Brooklyn Nets. We'll get into some 49ers as the show goes on because Kyle Shanahan did speak to the media yesterday in his weekly conference call, and he had a promising update. Promising. I'm not going to promise anything, though, from my end. I'm just going to tell you what Kyle Shanahan said. Brock Purdy, light throwing, didn't have any pain. So we'll listen to what he has to say in regards to his chances starting this week in Buffalo, plus some other news and notes. Again, Kyle Shanahan speaking to the media yesterday as the 49ers coming off a brutal loss to the Green Bay Packers will be taking on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And of course, they're coming off a bye. And of course, it's going to be snowing in Buffalo. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, we're focused on the Dubs. And from the Comcast Biz text line, 510, this Dubs loss looks like the gutless Niners losing to a bad team. They should smash at home. Can't lose to pathetic Nets. SMDH. Shaking my damn head. Oh, 510. I got something to tell you. This is not a 49ers loss. You know why this is not a 49ers loss? Because, first of all, it wasn't a blowout. They actually had a large lead in this game. And yes, the Niners have lost many games like that this season where they had a large lead or they had a lead and they coughed it up. But don't get it twisted. The Golden State Warriors are still a top team in the Western Conference right now. The 49ers are not a top team in any conference right now. They're not even a playoff team right now. And the team they lost to, the Brooklyn Nets, by the way, they'd be in the play-in scenario. They're a number 8 seed in the East. And I know it's the East, so I'm, again, going TO here. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek, but don't compare those two teams right now. Miss me with that. Does this feel like a lost year for the Golden State Warriors already after a loss, 2 losses? Stop. This guy's not falling. You can be angry. You can be upset. 128-120. You had a big lead and you lost it. You didn't close the deal. And yes, that part is slightly concerning considering what we've seen from the Warriors the last 2 seasons. Their inability to put their foot on the opponent's throat. To have that killer instinct that we're talking about with the 49ers, that is something you don't want to creep up. Now, they've had a lot of that killer instinct throughout this season. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here that maybe it's just a blip because they have shown more often than not. I mean, they're 12-5. They're a good team. They're 7 games over 500. It's almost December. I think you take that, Warriors fans. If I were to tell you right now you're 7 games over 500 and you got 4 days until December, 5 days, 30 days, half September, April. All right, yeah. 5 days? Like, come on. Relax. Yes, I'm telling you to relax at 5:10 a.m. on this beautiful Tuesday morning. It's a little wet out there, some areas, so please be safe. East Bay, it was a little wet. So if you're driving around there, East Bay, North Bay, South Bay, wherever you are, and if you're not even in California, if you're somewhere else where there's actual like real elements and snow and stuff to worry about, please be safe. Get those chains on those tires, have that 4-wheel drive action going. I'm talking as a guy who does not drive in the snow really, maybe once in my life, twice. And that's about it. So be safe. That's my PSA. That's my one thing for you this morning. Steve Kerr talking about the second unit struggling last night.
Well, we need to execute better, and that's that's on me as a coach. So we'll get him in here tomorrow for a practice, which we need, and we'll get back to executing better. At 41 points in the fourth is giving up 41 in the fourth. That's tough to overcome.
41 points. Dennis Schroeder, that's the guy. He's not a Warriors killer, is he? It just feels like he is such, and I know he's a pest, for other teams, but particularly the Warriors and how he guards Steph Curry. I'm not going to say he's the best at it, but there is something to him going up against Steph, and Steph got his. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest. He's a top 10 player of all time, right? 8 of 16 from beyond the arc. He took 28 points, 3 turnovers, but 7 assists for him. Steph was fine. But he did lead the team in turnovers yesterday. He did have 3 of them. The team as a total had 12 compared to the Nets' 11. It was just the lack of interior defense that was just startling to me with a guy like Schroeder, who we know could take you off the dribble. He has that little hezzy, like Goo likes to reference, the hezzy. He has the ha-ha, right? He could do that. He blew past GP2 a couple times last night. And pulling up for the 3-point shot. He was knocking those down, 4 of 8 from beyond the arc. Dennis Schroeder, 31 points yesterday. Cam Thomas, 23. Cam Johnson didn't even do anything yesterday. He's the guy the Warriors fans want to trade for. 5 points. Played 14 minutes. Didn't do anything. So, you don't need to do soul searching after a loss like that. It's okay to just take a step back, take a little breather. Like, all right, maybe this Warriors team isn't, maybe they aren't juggernauts. That's okay. You're still 12-5. Maybe you're not the Boston Celtics and you go wire to wire and just be blowing teams out every other day. No, not when you have a 12-man rotation like you do. This is what's going to happen when you're relying on young players too. Buddy Hield, by the way, 3 of 12 from the floor yesterday, 2 of 8 from beyond the arc, 9 points for Buddy Buckets, who in his last 10 is averaging 11 points, 36% from the 3-point land, 40% from the floor, and kind of cooled down a little bit from his hot start. On the season, he's still averaging nearly 16 points, 44% from 3-point land, and nearly 50% from the floor. But Buddy Buckets, not his greatest game yesterday. Might have been his worst, for being honest. It wasn't good enough. 408 from the Comcast Biz text line. Spadoni, do you feel like the real Warriors are starting to show, or you're not that worried? I'm not that worried. Why are we worrying? 2 losses in a row? Come on. Yeah, the 49ers you should be worried about. They are concerning. That is a team to worry about. But the Warriors right now? No. Now, if Steph got hurt, knock on wood that he doesn't, yes, then I would be concerned. If Draymond Green got suspended or got hurt, I would be concerned. If Andrew Wiggins, if he had to miss some time, I'd be concerned. Andrew Wiggins, I didn't call him out per se last week, but I did say I need to see more consistency for me to, buy back into the Andrew Wiggins, second best player on the team conversation. But in his last 3 games against the Nets, 18 points, 7 of 13 from the field. Against the Spurs, 20 points, 6 of 16. Not his greatest shooting night, but getting the points up there. Against the Pelicans, 30 points, 9 of 14. That's 3 games in a row now where I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins and saying, oh, okay. You're shutting me up. I'm impressed. And prior to that, 27 against Atlanta, 22 against the Clippers. That is a trend that I can get behind now. Last year, was there a 5, 6, 7 game stretch where you could feel confident about Andrew Wiggins and his scoring ability? No. It felt like every 2 games, oh, wow, Andrew Wiggins back. And then the third game is just like he's on a milk carton. Or you get 3 or 4 games, right, great. And then you get another 3 or 4 games where it's just like, huh? That's not good enough. You got to get involved. Well, he's been involved the last 5 games, and he's looked like Andrew Wiggins of the All-Star season for him and the Warriors championship season of a couple of years ago. And if that's the case, then I am not worried. Because if Andrew Wiggins all of a sudden becomes his team's second best player again, then Warriors got some juice on both ends of the floor from Andrew Wiggins. Because that's the thing. I look at the scoring numbers because that tells me how involved he is offensively, and this team needs him offensively. They are not good enough to overcome bad Andrew Wiggins offensive nights. They can win, but if you need to get to the promised land or get to a playoff spot, you're going to need Andrew Wiggins to contribute offensively consistently throughout this season. Not just every other game or 2 games and 3 games. No. You need this type of production from Andrew Wiggins that we've been seeing the last 5 days. 22 points, 27, 30, 20, 18. More of that, please. But can we cut out the turnovers from the team? Steve Kerr talking about the points off turnovers last night.
It's an up and down season. Every year is up and down. And so, we've generally done a better job of taking care of the ball for the most part. 13 turnovers is not a bad number, but, they scored every time off of them. And so, there were some bad ones that really hurt, and they were kind of automatic conversions. And the ones that we had really took our momentum away. So we just got to keep getting better.
It just looked like they completely were fine with an 18-point lead, as if this isn't the NBA of the 2020s, where no double-digit lead. You could be up 20, and I don't feel good about anything. Not in today's league. Sam and I were talking about this morning, like, remember when it used to feel like a 10-point lead? Felt just like, 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and a 10-point lead. All right, well, better pack it up. We're done. It felt like a 20-point lead. But now a 20-point lead feels like a 10-point lead. It's nothing. It's nothing. And to have an 18-point lead and to have your foot off the gas, come on. At home, that's where it's just like, all right, come on. By the way, I did think the courts looked pretty cool last night. The jerseys gave Nuggets vibes, right? They're Mile High City ones, or I don't need city, whatever they're called. They look like the Denver Nuggets. Too many uniforms in the NBA right now, just too many. And yes, I'm probably a little too young to be saying that. I'm only 31, but I'm more of a traditionalist when it comes to just whites. You got the color, right? And then that was it. You got the home whites. You think of Celtics, Lakers. Oh, the Warriors. God, they have so many good uniforms, but it's an oversaturation. No, I'm not going to do that. A buck. But come on. Hell, I'm seeing the Celtics right now. As I'm seeing highlights all over. They're wearing like a highlighter green. What are we doing? Just stop. Love the court. Didn't care for the uniforms. There's my TED Talk. Steve Kerr on Warriors turnovers and what that does to a defense.
There's nothing you can do. If you turn it over, there's going to be an advantage the other way. You're going to give up something. And tonight, a lot of threes. They took 45 of them. They also got 30 free throws. That was the focus coming into the game. We knew that their ticket to beat us was threes and free throws, and we weren't able to avoid that.
And it wasn't just the threes yesterday for the Brooklyn Nets. It wasn't, although they shot 20 of 45, 44% clip. Warriors 19 of 46 from three-point land, 41% there. It was driving to the lane, making the layups, blowing past defenders, blowing past GP2, blowing past Steph, going up and bodying guys like Draymond Green. The Brooklyn Nets and Jordi Fernandez's crew were not afraid to just go drive to the lane and force the Warriors to defend. And they did not do it for 4 quarters yesterday. They did it for 2.5. But again, it's the NBA. That is not good enough. I don't care if it's against the Brooklyn Nets. I don't care if it's against the Detroit Pistons. I don't care if it's against the Washington Wizards, who are 2-13. You play sloppily. You take your foot off the gas. Every single team has a player that could shoot them back into a game and shoot them out of it, like Dennis Schroeder's been known to do. He can shoot you out of it. But when he's on like he was last night, dropping 30 points, it's a recipe for disaster. Moses Moody after the game thought they got a little too comfortable.
I think this game we got a little too comfortable. They stayed aggressive, picking up full, playing hard, and I think we got a little relaxed when we went up 20.
There you go. They relaxed. Thunder, by the way, now the number 1 overall seed in the Western Conference at 13-4. Warriors at 12-5. They're number 2. So some perspective helps given what we're talking about with the team in Santa Clara as the 49ers. Still only a game back, though, of the NFC West. And again, we'll get into the Niners a little bit later. Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media yesterday. Potential promising news with Brock Purdy. We'll see as the week goes on, but we'll get into that on the other side. 888-957-9570. Talking Warriors, Nets right now. Nets 120, Warriors 1. Check that. Nets 128, Warriors 120. And you can hit us up on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Search 95.7 The Game, like and subscribe there. And you can also download the Odyssey app, take that wherever you need to go. It is free. It is awesome. It is real. It is spectacular. From the Comcast Business text line, 510, the turnovers killed him too, but I think Pods is getting a bit too much run. He's playing okay, but everybody knows he can't shoot from the outside or stay in front of anybody. Should be Moody or Lindy in the second unit. That's from the 510 on the Comcast Business text line. Yeah, Pajemski right now, not great. And I know a lot of people are, that was all my timeline was after the game yesterday. Moses Moody only got 16 minutes. He was playing so well, 6 of 8. He didn't play in the second half, 15 points. He played well. He did. But this goes back to the depth of the team. You know, you like to flex the 12-man rotation. You like to be awesome and feel great about it. And yesterday it was a 11-man rotation. Pajemski, 23 minutes. Moses Moody, 16 minutes. Gary Payton, 22 minutes. Buddy Hield, 17 minutes. Kyle Anderson, 14 minutes. And Kevon Looney, 13 minutes. And no JK, no Jonathan Kuminga. And that's a game they probably could have used JK in, but he's dealing with an illness right now. So hopefully JK feels better soon. It is flu season, by the way. COVID season. Hey, everyone get their vaccines. Everyone get their shots. I'm not here to do this, the PSA. All right. Just be smart. All right. Don't do anything dumb, especially you don't want to get sick. I mean, no one likes to get sick. All right. It's not fun. Tell that. So there you go. Go get your vaxes if you need them. I need to go get my flu shot. Although I feel like I had it a couple weeks ago. Do I still have to go get it? Is that the strain I got? Is there a new strain? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But guys talks about sports. Attempts to anyways. From the Comcast Business text line. You guys are on fire this morning. You guys are nothing like a loss, but a loss like that. When you had such a large lead in back-to-back games against the Spurs and the Nets. Maybe it's just the black and white teams. You guys got it. All right. And those colors is just, it's not happening. But something about, the dribble drive penetration, that was concerning for me. And just, it wasn't like they didn't look athletic enough. It looked like they just, as Steve Kerr said, they lost the juice. They just looked like they were complacent. Why? You're at home. You had a day off to rest. It was just kind of baffling to me. Resting on your laurels this early in the season, can't be doing that. You're 12-5, but you can't be doing that. You're not good enough. You're just not. Not yet, anyways. Thank you. 5-0. They missed Camino last 2 games. His athleticism to guard fast young players and his scoring with him and Moody in the second unit in defense. He solidifies the second unit. I agree, 5-0. I agree. They really missed the youthful exuberance of a Jonathan Kuminga last night. When you're playing these young teams, I'm not going to say garbage teams because the Nets have talent, clearly, but they're 8-10. They're not world beaters. But at times, they did look slow, a step off when going up against the Schroeders, the Cam Thomases, the Zaire Williams, the Jalen Wilsons of the world. Jalen Wilson, 41 minutes. Good Lord. 888-957-9570 is the number. Good morning to all you just getting off work, getting ready for school. It's the pregame show. Joe Spadoni. You got me for the next, 35 minutes before handing off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. They're fired up about this loss. They're fired up about the 49ers taking on the Buffalo Bills later on this week. We're still reeling from that Green Bay Packers loss. Brian Baldinger, our 95.7 The Game NFL insider, guy breaks down film better than anyone not named Greg Cosell and vice versa because we got the two best to do it. I don't like to pit them against each other. Although Brian Baldinger did play in the NFL, so, he gets a little different perspective as Greg, who is just a film junkie, but still, he grew up watching the NFL. Obviously, his uncle being the great Howard Cosell. So Baldy today, 7:30, courtesy of the River Islands guest line, appointment radio, be there or be square. Plus, the Morning Roast has a major announcement coming around on their show today. Major announcement, Doobie Awards related, and you're not going to want to miss that. So be locked and loaded, Devontae Hill and Joe Shasky. But you got me for the next 2 segments. 1 segment down, 2 more to go. 888-957-9570. Warriors fall to the Brooklyn Nets. How you feeling about that loss, Warriors fans? 2 in a row now. Are you starting to feel like the sky's falling? Like the Warriors have been had? The league's figuring out the Warriors? Or are you like me? Take a deep breath. You would take this. If I told you at the start of the season the team would be 12-5, the 2nd seed in the Western Conference on November 26th, heading into Thanksgiving, you'd say, that's great. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's fine. All right. Actually, that's not true. I would have told you DeAnthony Melton's out for the season. But could they trade DeAnthony Melton and his salary and go after a guy that we saw last night? We'll discuss that on the other side. 888-957-9570 is the number as the pregame show, Joe Spadoni, rolls on 95.7 The Game.
The holidays are a magical time to get engaged. At Shane Company, we're here to help you create your dream engagement ring in just 3 easy steps. Choose a setting that speaks to your style. Compare diamonds and colorful gemstones in all shapes and sizes. Then personalize it with a decorative crown and special engraving. Or choose a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. At Shane Company, you'll find everyday competitive prices, a no-pressure environment, and an unmatched free lifetime warranty. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
How's your home handling hot and chilly weather these days? For a comfortable home, you should consider proper weatherproofing. If you're working with a professional to upgrade or build a new home, be sure to talk with them about Golden State Lumber and Building.
8. Brooklyn improves to 8-10 on the year, 4-7 on the road. Warriors now 12-5 on the season, 5-2 at home. Dennis Schroeder led all scorers with 31 points yesterday in 31 minutes of playing time. 10 of 18 from the floor for him, 7 assists as well to add to 5 boards. God, he's one of the biggest pests in the NBA. When he's not on your team, this guy, he gets under your skin. He really does. And Shasky and I were talking about it, and Joe Shasky and Bonta Hill, they'll be on here in about, 27 minutes, and they definitely got some thoughts on this game. Brian Baldinger, by the way, 8 o'clock, not 7:30 today. Usually 7:30s every Tuesday, pushing to 8. Maybe he's prepping for Turkey Day. I don't know. I think we always ask Baldy about his turkey. He just wants steak. I don't think he goes turkey. He just wants red meat. You know what? Respect that. I'd like to do steaks too. Turkey's okay. I like turkey sandwiches more than I like the actual turkey on the day of, right? I think most people are like that, but I digress. Or I digest. Shout out Thursday. But Dennis Schroeder is one of those players. And you can give me some more on 888-957-9570. Just pests in the NBA that bother you as a Warriors fan, or just bother you to watch. Like, he gives me Rondo vibes, and Rondo's obviously, Rondo might be like a borderline Hall of Famer, Rajon Rondo. But the way he plays defense, the way he can drive to the lane, and Schroeder's probably a better I have to look up the numbers, probably a better three-point shooter than Rajon Rondo. But he just gives me those vibes. And I saw him a couple years ago in that Lakers-Warriors series in that second round in the Western Conference semifinals. And he played pretty good defense on Steph throughout that series. And you're never going to hold down Steph, just like the greats, just like Shane Battier when he was going up against the likes of a Kobe Bryant. You're never going to hold those guys down forever, right? You look at Kawhi Leonard going up against LeBron James. The greats are still going to get theirs, but you want to make them work for it. Tire them out just a little bit, because that'll start showing up later in the fourth, right? When you get lackadaisical offense. And we've seen stuff that happen in the past where late in the fourth, it's lazy. It has a bad turnover, a bad pass. Why is that? You get tired. Start getting lazy when you're tired. Trust me, that was me all of high school when I was playing World of Warcraft 24/7. I was tired. Hey, don't sleep on those. Hey, those raids were tough, all right? I was locked in on the Ice Crown Citadel heroic 25-man mode. You guys don't even know what that is, all right? And if you do, text in for the Horde, all right? That's all I got to say. Enough said. From the Comcast Business text line, 650, the Warriors were up 17 against the Spurs, lost by 10. Warriors were up 18 to the Nets, lose by 8. Outscored by 20 in the fourth against the Spurs. Outscored by 13 by the Nets. Minus 33 in 2 games in the fourth is embarrassing. It's not a good look. It's not great. And again, depth is getting tested now. And your ability to hold on to leads is kind of the signal to me of whether you're a good team or not. And for the most part, the Warriors have been able to do that and get big leads and sit on them. But as I keep alluding to, in today's NBA, an 18-point lead means actually jack bleep to me. I don't care about your 18. Great. You were winning by 18 points in the third quarter. And it's just like in the NFL. Oh, but the Niners were up by 10 in the fourth quarter. And? Great. Means nothing. When the opposing team has a DK Metcalf or a Tyler Lockett or a Jackson Smith and Jigba or a Kyler Murray that's capable of having an explosive play, like, that's the difference. This is not the NCAA. This is not, March Madness. This is not the college football playoff. It's the NFL. It's the NBA. And we have seen time and time again, leads get blown. The good teams can sit on them and stay on them. The inconsistent teams and the teams that are going to be fighting for a play-in lose more of those games than they win. So, who are the Warriors? Right now, they tell me they're a good team. But if they continue this trend to the last 2 games, maybe I'm going to start feeling different about them going forward. But still too early for me to start calling this a trend and something to be overly concerned about. Concerned? Sure. Peeved a little bit, slightly disgruntled. All right. It's like a little irritation, right? A little dry skin. Got to itch it. Irritating. Or like a small little paper cut you get. It's like, a little pain just lingers. That's what these losses are. There's a small little paper cut on my palm here as I'm opening up a book to read Baby Nora and Young Benjamin. It's a brand new one from Barnes & Noble. Just get a good slice on your hand. You have to let it linger. Shout out to Cranberries. Maybe that's the song of the day. That's another show. From the Comcast Biz text line, Patrick Beverley, the biggest pest. That's Dwayne and Milpitas, 408. That's a good one. I don't think Beverley's even in the league. Is he playing like in Israel or something? Right? Yeah, he's not even... Yeah. Tel Aviv of the Israeli Basketball Premier League in the Euro Cup. There you go. He's over in the Middle East. Don't know if I want to be there right now, but I digress. Patrick Beverley's a good one. Jose Alvarado I'm getting as well. Dennis Schroeder's up there. Biggest pests in the NBA. Why not? Shout out ATCO Pest Control. 888-957-9570. Where's my rat on the table? I'll put it there. Thank you. And apparently, do we know what the injury was for Cam Johnson last night? Do we know? Because Shasta and I were just talking about that. And I looked at his minute allocation. I was like, 14 minutes. And I saw him on the bench, but I had it on mute too, just like Shasky's, cooking, cleaning, doing what I was doing. Do we get an official word on that? Because, as I go Chris Collinsworth, here's a guy that's probably going to be on the trade block and is going to be a difference maker potentially on a team trying to go on a deep playoff run. Could the Warriors be interested? Could a team like the Lakers be interested? Could a team in the East be interested? Cam Johnson. He's capable of getting as hot as anyone from beyond the arc. And three-point shooting, again, can never have too much of it, in my opinion. He's tall, capable on defense. I'm not mad at it. But what are you going to give up? Like, are the Warriors in a position where they need a Cam Johnson right now? I still say no. Are they in need to make a big splashy trade right now? I'd say no still. By the way, did that Giannis talk just dissipate completely? Are we not talking about Giannis anymore? Bucks in the 6th seed, 8-9, 4 in a row, 7-3 in their last 10. They're back, baby. Doc Rivers must have had an or was it Mock Rivers? Did go fly out to Milwaukee and give a speech? I'd be fired up if that was the case.
I'm tired of getting pushed around. Kick your ass. We're Warriors.
That was it. That was the speech. And the Bucks have now been 7-3 in the last 10. And I don't think anyone's touching Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers, the 10-foot pole. I would not even, now he's got an injury, I guess, of course, because he has an injury. What a fall from grace. Joel Embiid, my God. What happened? I get it. He didn't have the greatest Olympics. He had a couple of solid games there to kind of salvage it late, but he was getting crushed on social. Where's Anthony Davis, Steve Kerr, all this sort of stuff. And then to start the season, him and Paul George just, Philadelphia, thank God they got the Eagles, because otherwise, as soon as their season's over, and I picked them to go to the Super Bowl, by the way. Not looking like a bad pick. My Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl prediction. Yeah, I'm going to pat myself on the back because no one's going to pat it for me. But yikes. Philadelphia 76ers. Warriors fans, enjoy the season so far. And I know these last two losses are tough, but just look around the rest of the league. It's a tough watch sometimes. The West is feisty, by the way. The West, they're so much better than the East. It's not even close. Not even funny. It's almost gross, actually, how much better the West has been than the East. And we haven't even had the discussion of just doing a 1 through 16 seed and just doing away with the conferences, really. Just go 1 through 16. Let the best teams be in there. Because it does bother me year in and year out seeing a team, let's look at the standings right now. In the West, who's fighting for it? So we got the Suns, Nuggets, Mavericks, Spurs. Those would be your play-in teams right now. 9-7, 9-7, 10-8, 9-8. In the Eastern Conference, you'd have the Pacers, Nets, Pistons, Bulls, 8-10, 8-10, 8-11, 7-11. You mean to tell me the Pacers, Nets, Pistons, and Bulls should be in over the Suns, Nuggets, Mavericks, Spurs? Please. Oh, this is how it's done. This is tradition. West versus East. Shut up. Best team should be in, period. All right, 2 segments down, one more to go. We're up against it. 888-957-9570. Put a bow on this Warriors talk. Nets 128, Warriors 120. Are you concerned by these last two losses, Golden State Warriors fans? Plus, we'll react on the other side to Kyle Shanahan speaking to the media yesterday. How will Brock Purdy fare this week in practice? Will he be ready for Buffalo? We shall see on 95.7 The Game.
Are you a plumber, steam fitter, or HVAC-R technician looking to make the most of your career? Listen to what UA Local 38 member Jeremy has to say.
My name is Jeremy. I'm in UA Local 38, and I work for Matrix HG. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. Got into it right after I got out of the Navy. Some of the benefits I've seen in Local 38 is the full package. So you have company vehicle, so there's no wear and tear on your personal vehicle. You have the medical, which is included in your hourly package, and you also have training. Any additional skills, the union provides all that. As a veteran transitioning to the civilian lifestyle, I would recommend UA Local 38 for multiple reasons. They take care of all the paperwork for you. I literally just signed a couple things and they had it all filled out for me. They went out of their way and I really recognize that. For more information, they do have a really good website. It's ualocal38.org. I recommend going to visit that where you can sign up, take the initiation test, and get more information.
Thanks, Jeremy. Again, for more information, visit ualocal38.org.
It's Bonta Hill. Life and hectic schedules can cause tension. Stretch Lab is here to help you recharge and unlock your body's full potential with the power of stretching. Whether you're an active golfer or runner or spend too much time at a desk, getting stretched by their highly trained practitioners will help improve flexibility and reduce pain and tension. You'll leave standing taller and feeling your best. Go to stretchlab.com/Bay Area for 50% off your first intro stretch and mobility assessment. That's stretchlab.com/Bay Area.
Homeowners are choosing the beauty of Milgard Trinsic Vinyl featured at Dolan's. Narrow frames, the contemporary look, the color choices, perfect white and tan, and an array of custom exterior colors. And that's only the beginning. The innovative Smart Touch window locks exceed California's rigorous forced entry codes, plus energy efficiency for comfort. Discover Milgard's vinyl benefits. Visit products at dolanlumber.com.
It's Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Stack up the savings with deals all month. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus take an additional 10% off when you buy select major appliances. And don't wait to save on string lights, starting at just $298 for 100 count. Shop these deals in-store or online now, because Lowe's knows deals. Appliances valid 11/6 to 12/4. Cannot be combined with additional discounts. See Lowe's.com for details and qualifying items. String lights valid 11/21 through 12/4 while supplies last.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
At Inform Your Community, we combine topics that people want more information about with fun events like crafting, movies, and games, which cover information on a range of topics that impact what happens in the United States. Now we're taking our nonpartisan virtual events and launching in-person chapters around the country. Get informed and have fun while you're at it. Let's grow together. Sponsored by Inform Your Community, a nonpartisan nonprofit. Come visit us at informyourcommunity.org.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunk Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW1. That's 877-WEB-NOW1.
In 1848, James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill. And in 3 years, a multicultural migration grew a sleepy trading post of 800 to a city of over 250,000. These were the first dreamers, innovators, builders, and inventors that defined San Francisco. The San Francisco Historical Society exists to uncover, preserve, and present in engaging ways the colorful and diverse history of our city from its earliest days to the present. As a member, you'll receive The Argonaut, an award-winning publication that has provided in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Is school out this week? I know for the public schools are out. Doing your midterms, doing whatever you got to do. Crack them books. Be smart. Be safe. All right? That's all I got to say. You don't want to do anything stupid before, going home for the holidays, getting your spread around. Like, this is a fun week, right? You get back into town, whether you're traveling, get in either today or tomorrow, chop it up with old friends, old pals, family members. It's a beautiful week. Thanksgiving gets slept on. It might be the best holiday, actually. Especially if you're into sports, because, football all day. Although, the NFL slate is not great this year. I'll just say that. Giants, Cowboys. That's the only one that's bad. Lions, Bears. I shouldn't say that. It's solid. I would rather just have not, 3 stinkers. And I get it. The tradition of the Cowboys and Lions are always going to be there. But there is part of me where it's like, can we just, if the Lions and Cowboys aren't good that year, can we flex them out? Right? If they're good, keep them. If they're not, flex them out of there. It's really that simple. Yeah, but tradition, we were talking about tradition last break. I hate tradition when I'm getting crappy teams in the East making it over good teams in the West. It bothers me. It does. It does. It bothers me. You know what else bothers me? Bad quarterback play. And not to say Brandon Allen was horrible last week as I transitioned to 49ers here, 888-957-9570. But just, you knew it wasn't good enough from that first drive. I had zero faith the 49ers are going to win that game heading into it, and even more so after Brandon Allen fumbled in his first series with the 49ers. Broken finger on his non-throwing hand that he's had for a couple weeks. It's just, come on. But Brock Purdy, dealing with some shoulder soreness in his throwing shoulder, did some light throwing. And Kyle Shanahan, the head coach of the 49ers, on his weekly media conference call, talked about it yesterday.
Yeah, he did some light throwing today, and it went all good. He had, we didn't push it that hard, but did some light throwing, which was a good sign that the pain hadn't come back, and we'll rest it tomorrow and see how he feels as the week goes.
So we're going to see how it progresses throughout the week. You do light throwing, and then you do your normal routine. And if his normal routine, everything goes well there and pain-free, I would assume Brock Purdy starts. This is a huge game. This is, and I think we've said this multiple times, this is a must-win game. This is a make-or-break season game. It's just, for Brock Purdy, for all the people that are questioning his physical skill sets, his, can he lead a team when everything's not going well? Can he win in the elements? Like, he could check off a lot of boxes this Sunday and save the 49ers season with a win. I know a lot of people are poo-pooing it. Oh, this is not an NFC opponent. Oh, it's like, I don't care. The Buffalo Bills might be the best team in the NFL. And you win this game, get back to 500, be right there in your division with the Rams and Cardinals still to play. Yeah, you're right back in it. And I'm feeling way better about my season. I don't even care how the game looks when you win it, as long as you go through unscathed and you got, no major injuries. So, yeah, it's not over, but it's all going to be on Brock and how he looks this Sunday. Because if they have a subpar Brock Purdy game, I have a very difficult time seeing them win. And Josh Allen off a bye and this team off a bye, I don't think they're going to be resting on their laurels, kind of like the Warriors were the last 2 nights. That's not the Buffalo Bills way. They've gotten humbled many a times in the past. And I think they've learned their lessons, especially against the Kansas City Chiefs, amongst other teams. But here's Kyle Shanahan talking about the penalties. And that really being the sticking point for this team right now. You cannot beat yourselves. You saw that in Green Bay. It didn't need to be that ugly. Losing by 28, it didn't need to be that way. But when you have back-to-back penalties with 12 men on the field, when you have boneheaded false starts, when you have a 3rd and 1, that's how you get embarrassed, and that's how you get blown out. Goes from good to bad and then the ugly. Kyle Shanahan talking about it.
Yeah, you look at each penalty, and the ones that you can correct, you correct. Going back to, I think on the second play of the game for offense, Pooney went a little bit early, and that's something he's just got to have better patience with. Changing the cadences are always subtly different when you change quarterbacks, but it's something we harped on hard, especially Thursday and Friday once we realized what was happening. And that got us there. The false start that they called on Jake later in the game, we had been doing it that way all year, so we didn't see anything wrong with this. We're going to have to check with the league on that because he didn't move or anything. They just said he snapped it too early, so it's some disagreements there. A couple of the holding calls, especially on the long kick return, didn't totally see it the same way, but the other 2 I did, and we got to be better with that. So, the timing of those penalties, and we didn't overcome either. I think on one drive we overcame the 3rd and 1 penalty. And other times we didn't. So the pre-snap ones we got to be much better at. Those are the ones we can avoid. But a couple of those I got to get talk to the league on.
Kyle's going to go talk to the lead. I don't know. He's going to strongly worded email. Is he going to send a note like you do to a student in class? I don't know how he's going to do that. But we'll talk to the league about it and see what they could fix or confirm for him. Not that it gives 49ers fans any, solace in that. Because they lost the game. And they didn't look prepared. Kyle Shanahan on the 49ers looking unprepared for the Packers' rushing attacks.
No, you're going to see different formations and different run looks every game. When you do see that, you can't get out of your gaps. And there's a couple times that we had guys get out of the gaps. I'd say on the second play of the game, they got a long one. They caught us just in a blitz. We were doing a blitz. And when you blitz and they run the ball and you can get someone out of a gap, you're going to get 15 yards like that right up to the deep safety. After that, a couple looks that they had, we had guys overrun it. They cut out our DN, and there's not a guy in the gap, which leads to an explosive. And we had too many of those in the first half, without a doubt. And when you give a back like that kind of space, and they're getting 10 yards before contact, he's usually going to make that one guy left look pretty bad, and that's what we had way too many of.
What's concerning for me this week is that Josh Allen's the guy I'm worried about running the ball. It's not even James Cook. It's not the rushing. It's Josh Allen. Who are you confident in on the 49ers defense right now that could bring that guy down if he's running in the open field? Fred Warner? Guys have made a play in weeks. Devondre Campbell, please. And then you get into the secondary. He's twice the size of any of your DBs. Now, it'd be nice to have Charvarius Ward back. And obviously, he's dealing with a family tragedy. Take all the time he needs. Speaking of which, Charvarius Ward returning. Kyle Shanahan.
That's the plan. He got a lot of work in last week. He just did most of it with the scout team and stuff, and seems in good spirits. And hopefully he'll come out there Wednesday, and we'll see how it goes. It's not something I'm pushing him on hard and trying to go at his speed. And but I know how he talked last week and everything, and hopefully he'll be able to take another step forward with that this week.
So getting back Charvarius Ward would be huge. Now, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams. Maybe your 2 best players on the actual team. What about them, Kyle?
They're in the same boat Brock is, really. We have the MRIs and everything. We kind of understand it, but just waiting to see how they respond. They didn't respond great last week. That's why they weren't able to go. Nick and Trent are both in the same boat. Nick with his hip and oblique and Trent with his ankle. And we'll evaluate as this week progresses, and hopefully it turns a better corner than it did last week.
And finally, Dre Greenlaw? Is his practice window opening, Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, Dre should. We are going to open it this week. He should be able to start practicing on Wednesday.
Dre Greenlaw returning to practice. Now, I'm not getting too excited there. Guy's coming off an Achilles injury that happened just, shout out math, 9 months ago. So we shall see. But just getting him back on a field or in the sidelines padded, like, you need that guy's energy badly. This team just looks, talking about no juice, the Warriors last night, the Warriors' juice on defense, where is it? Non-existent without Dre Greenlaw. So they need him back desperately. Now, what version of Dre Greenlaw are you going to get? That's ultimately going to be the question. Because you can be an emotional leader all you want. If you're not going to be a leader physically, though, and, stop the runs, stop the pass, do all that stuff that you were doing in tandem with Fred Warner, then it's not going to matter. Hold on. It's not. So hopefully Dre Greenlaw can return to form here sooner rather than later, get some of that rust off, and let's see if the 49ers can, I'm not going to say do the unthinkable, because that makes it seem like this team is dead in the dumps and they're kicking to the curb. They're over. The season's not over. It's not. It is on life support, though. And Josh Allen, Doug McDermott, Keon Coleman, James Cook, and company are waiting in Buffalo this Sunday. Can't wait to break down that game and preview it with Brian Baldinger at 8 o'clock. That's what Bontail and Joe Shasta are going to do next on the Morning Roast on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibbs for Safeway. Enjoy these amazing deals for their members. And as always, earn 4 times reward points on hundreds of exclusive offers with your Safeway app. Fresh Signature Farms turkey, 9 to 24 pounds for just 87 cents per pound. Limit 1 item. When I think turkey, I think Dan Dibley.
Yeah, and I'm known to gobble here and there, but you can also get an exclusive digital deal, Signature Select Classic